Chung, half covered in blood, was slowly getting up, with too much he wanted to say. But at that moment, a sound rang in his ears, a notification from the system. Dear host, you have successfully hunted a high-energy being. Energy points gained, 1. Current remaining energy points, 1. You can use energy points to upgrade your warship, weapons, or other equipment. The energy points required for upgrades vary by material, quality, and size of the items, and the specific cost will be prompted during the upgrade. Hearing this notification, Wang Qing's heart raced. Indeed, these mutations were high-energy beings. Killing them could earn energy points. Could he upgrade his toy gun to a real one? Chapter 5, Upgrade. Titanium Alloy Tactical Dagger. Thinking of this, Wang Qing felt a surge of excitement. Humanity's strength lies in the use of tools, and firearms can be considered the most powerful killing instruments developed in human civilization. If he could get a gun, his combat and survival abilities would see a significant boost. However, now was not the time to ponder this. He glanced at Su Xinghai and Zhang Chao, who still looked dazed, and said, I know the apocalypse is coming, but I don't know exactly what will happen. I just saw the fourth one turn into that, and I'm worried about the third. I acted rashly. What on earth is going on? Wang Qing couldn't explain the matter of rebirth and had to gloss over it. Zhang Chao's face turned pale as he realized his phone had no signal. Second brother, you were right. The apocalypse is really here. How did you know? What should we do? The fourth's body. Outside. My God, come to the window quickly. Su Xinghai, however, looked skeptical. Being the oldest, he sensed there was more to Wang Qing's words. But before he could say anything, a loud bang suddenly came from the door of room 703. Bang. It seemed someone had slammed against the dormitory door. Help! Help! Haicheng University is a decent institution, but the dormitory doors are not security doors. They are just simple wooden doors. Outside, a person in distress is frantically pounding and shouting, their cries sounding more like the wails of a tortured creature than anything human. Zhang Chao's face turns pale with fear. What should we do? Su Xinghai grabs a mop as a weapon and rushes to the door, only to hear the cries for help abruptly cut off by a chilling scream, followed by horrific sounds of flesh being torn apart. It's as if some wild beast is violently panting, gnawing on raw meat, and swallowing it piece by piece. Because they are so close, just a door away. The chaos inside the dormitory is loud, but the sounds from outside are still very clear. Zhang Chao, trembling, whispers, blood. His voice is low, suppressing his terror. Too afraid to speak loudly. A pool of fresh blood is seeping in through the crack under door 703. What is happening outside is all too obvious. Su Xinghai instinctively pulls his foot back from the door, retreating step by step, shaking his head at Wang Qing and Zhang Chao, terrified of alerting the monster outside. They cannot open the door. They absolutely cannot go out. Su Xinghai's face is pale as he communicates with Wang Qing and Zhang Chao using his lips. His reaction is already quite rational and calm under such drastic circumstances. Given the situation, he is doing remarkably well. Wang Qing, however, is undoubtedly even more composed. Although he lived only 3 days before his rebirth, the experience he gained in those 3 days is sufficient for him to adapt. He has just wiped some blood off his face. The mutated creatures only cause normal people to mutate if they are killed. Mere contact, or even accidentally ingesting their blood, does not trigger mutation. At the same time, Wang Qing is rummaging through the toy gun he purchased. Thanks to the system, he knows that toy guns can be upgraded to real firearms, so he nearly bought out the entire stock at that toy store. Unfortunately, according to the store owner, realistic toy guns are heavily regulated now, so even with his bulk purchase, he didn't acquire many. In total, he has 2 handguns, a shotgun, 5 rifles, a sniper rifle, and 3 or 4 solid fake grenades. Rifles sell the best, so he has the most of those. There are also various bullets that look quite similar to real ones, but they are all made of plastic, which Wang Qing also complained about while buying. The first weapon he decides to upgrade is the shotgun. In the cramped conditions of the dormitory, the shotgun is the best weapon for confronting the mutated creatures. Wang Qing places his arm up, calling upon the system to upgrade, only to be stunned. Upgrading the shotgun requires 20 energy points. It suddenly dawns on him that he had been overly optimistic. What can 1 energy point do? He quickly sweeps his hand over the various weapons, discovering that upgrading a grenade requires 5 energy points, while both the shotgun and rifle need 20, and a handgun requires 10 energy points. The cheapest are the bullets, where 1 energy point can upgrade 10 rounds. Wang Qing almost spat blood in frustration. After a round of searching, he found that there were very few things he could upgrade with just 1 energy point. The long kitchen knife in his hand and his anti-blue light glasses were among the few options. It seemed that he could only try upgrading the long kitchen knife first. Wang Qing had bought quite a few kitchen tools from the supermarket, primarily kitchen supplies. He picked the best and most expensive one to carry with him. This long kitchen knife cost a total of $368. The length was just right, and it felt good in his hand. However, when he used it to stab the mutated Hu Yiming, the blade began to dull. Moreover, when Wang Chung had just cut into Hu Yiming's body, he also felt a lack of sharpness. There was no way around it. Cutting vegetables and killing a living person were two entirely different concepts. Just then, a heavy crashing sound came again. But this time, there were no cries for help. The mutated creature outside had just devoured the unfortunate student who had called for help, and it caught the scent of blood coming from Hu Yiming in room 703. It was desperately trying to break down the door. The old dormitory door shook violently. It wouldn't hold for long. What should they do? Having been discovered, Su Xinghai no longer kept his voice low and spoke anxiously. They could not let it break in, or their dormitory would lose its only barrier. Wang Chen coldly spoke, lifting the items he had brought from the supermarket. I have kitchen knives and boning knives here. You all take a few that are handy. We'll open the door and kill that monster outside, then get rid of the fourth S body. Su Xinghai was the first to start rummaging through the items. You're amazing. I thought you were crazy just now. Without your preparations, we'd probably be empty-handed. Zhang Chao also bent down to look for weapons. They were both a bit flustered, with a lot to say, but the current situation required them to first get through this crisis. Taking advantage of their focus on the supplies, Wang Chung quietly stepped back, pressing his hand against the long kitchen knife, and called out to the system, upgrade the current kitchen knife. Kitchen knife upgrade starting. Your kitchen knife is currently at level 1. Please select an upgrade direction. 1. Weapon. 2. Kitchenware. Wang Chung was a bit surprised. If this were peacetime, wouldn't he have the chance to upgrade to a world-class kitchen knife and become rich? However, with the mutated creatures so close, he didn't have time to think more. He silently chose to upgrade towards the weapon direction. A white light lit up once more, but this time it was brief. It only consumed 1 energy point, so the upgrade wouldn't take long. By the time Zhang Chao and Su Xinghai found their weapons, Wang Chung's knife had already completed its upgrade, reaching level 2. At this moment, the long kitchen knife in his hand was no longer dull. Both sides were sharpened, becoming incredibly sharp and significantly lighter in weight. Dear host, your kitchen knife has been upgraded. It is now a titanium alloy tactical dagger, level 2. Seeing this prompt, Wang Chung's heart skipped a beat. A steel knife had directly transformed into a titanium alloy 1. No wonder it had become lighter. Moreover, its structure and purpose were no longer that of a kitchen knife, but rather a true tactical dagger, a weapon for hunting. Wow, this was like turning a bicycle into a motorcycle. At this moment, Zhang Chao and Su Xinghai had already chosen their weapons and stood up. Su Xinghai was a bit taken aback. Was that knife in your hand just now? There was no time to waste. They needed to prepare to open the door and deal with the monster outside first. Wang Chung did not explain, turning back coldly. They hadn't actually delayed for long. Less than a minute had passed, and the dormitory door was already crumbling. Through the cracks in the broken door, they could see the mutated creature outside, its skull split in half, with hands transformed into claw-like appendages, frantically scratching and banging, ready to break in at any moment. Su Xinghai and Zhang Chao were both trembling slightly. They felt that Wang Chung seemed a bit unfamiliar today. Wang Chung was being too bold. After just killing the mutated Hu Yiming, he was now the first to approach the door. However, they didn't notice that Wang Chung's hand gripping the knife was also shaking. He had prepared himself for a fight against the mutated creature, but he was just an ordinary person. Even with determination, fear was hard to suppress. He knew he couldn't show it. If he was afraid, Su Xinghai and Zhang Chao would be even more terrified. Everyone was fearful. If they truly faced the mutated being, it would be a disastrous defeat, and they would undoubtedly perish. Just a door away, the mutated creature was roaring furiously. Who would kill whom would soon be revealed. Chapter 6. Hunting the mutated creature. The wooden dormitory door let out a mournful creak under the pressure. Compared to humans, the mutated creatures were more like beasts. They learned and grew through fighting and hunting. The one outside seemed initially unsure how to exert force to break down the door in the shortest time possible, but as time passed, it began to grasp the technique little by little. The plaster on the walls started to crumble. Wang Chung and the others exchanged glances at the door. Timing was crucial. Zhang Chao pulled the door open forcefully. The mutated creature was retreating, preparing for another charge. As the door was pulled open from the inside, it seemed momentarily stunned. Lu Jiaming. Su Xinghai's face turned pale as he recognized that the monster outside, with its head split in two, was their classmate from the next dorm. But Lu Jiaming was no longer the friend they knew. He had become a monster, howling and lunging forward with a gaping maw. Su Xinghai reacted quickly, leaping forward to tightly grasp the creature's leg, causing its body to pitch forward uncontrollably. Zhang Chao then threw a large quilt he had pulled from the side over the mutated creature, trying to cover its claws and restrict its most powerful means of attack. Then, Wang Chung struck again, plunging his knife into the creature's skull. The titanium alloy tactical dagger, having evolved, was clearly different from the ordinary fruit knife he had used earlier. It sliced through the creature's head effortlessly, like cutting vegetables. cleaving its face in half and severing its skull.